not to be crucified for things that I have not. You're asking here, who mandated me? Who mandated the former president who came from the 12 plus to visit Kiev? Who mandated him? Please, I think we have to reach a point where I have explained myself several times to you 12 plus, to everybody else who cared to understand. If you have a feeling like I went to Russia without going to Ukraine first, I have told you several times, letters were sent out. I wouldn't turn out my visit to Russia because I'm unable to reach Ukraine. You didn't ask me similar questions when I visited Israel, did you? You didn't ask me similar questions when I visited Palestine, did you? You're not going to ask me similar questions when I visit Sudan. You're not going to ask me similar questions when I visit other places. I think, colleagues, let's have trust. You have elected a president who is supposed to deliver to her mandate. You have elected a president who is supposed to deliver to her mandate, and I think you are dealing with me unjustifiably, which is not fair to anybody. The questions that you have been raising, I have responded them to the best of my knowledge and to the best of my objectivity in all this matter. And you must know, I would not have asked to meet Mr. Putin if it wasn't for Ukraine. My commitment to doing that, and this is not the first place I'm visiting. Why is it that is looking like I have met this person and therefore the president of IPU has all of a sudden become a monster? Please treat me with dignity the same way I am treating you with dignity.
So, hello Africans, I hope you're doing fine where you are, and if you're not doing fine, please do fine where you are. It's always good to be fine. So I want to ask you this question. Who is a good person? According to you, who is a good person? Yes, answer me if you have an answer to that. I think a good person is somebody who does good, not to show himself to the people that he is always doing good. We do good not out of abundance. A good person will do good things out of the abundance of his heart, not materials. Because trust me, if a man is not faithful in what is little, a man will not be faithful in what is more. If they can't give you 5 shillings when they have 100 shillings, they won't give you 5 shillings even if they have 1,000,000 shillings. That's true. And these kind of people have been represented very well by African leaders. Well, in Africa we have many politicians than leaders. Remember, goodness comes out of the abundance of the heart, not materials. Yes, you can start doing good with the little you have. You don't need to have much for you to say that you can do good. Russia, the Gaza, South Sudan, Congo, Sudan, Egypt, Somalia, Ethiopia, a lot of escalations are taking place over there. There is a parliament called the International Parliament Union or Unity. It is the IPU. Tanzanian lady who is the president of this parliament called the IPU. The name of this lady is TULIA ACKSON. I think she's of Tanzanian origin. Now, in a particular speech that she gave in Geneva, which is a capital city of Switzerland, she got a very tough question, a question that was there to test her morality, her loyalty to the people. The world war as it took place in Europe, not as it took place in Africa, because it also affected Africans. Yes, crime is not selective of individual. Crime cuts across races. Crime cuts across humanity. Age doesn't choose the victims. We've had the genocide in Rwanda, the genocide that was committed against the people of Israel, the Holocaust, that's the correct name. When we turn to European history or to the world history now in general, people only think of the Holocaust. Actually, the Holocaust is much more broadcasted than it is the Rwandan genocide. Paul Kagame once said the Rwandan genocide was not caused by the Rwandese. The Rwandan genocide was caused by external influences from the West. These are not my words. These are the words of the Rwandese president, Paul Kagame. This lady was asked a very powerful question. You went to Russia. You went to the Russian war. Now, I want us to watch this video. See how she answered this, because she was asked, you took yourself to Russia, but have you been to Gaza? Look at how he answered this question, and I'm telling you, this is a good person. A good person does not need a lot for him to do the right thing. They'll do what they need to do with the little they have. Let's dive into this video.
A concern was raised by Iraq in respect of the report that I've just given you, and Iraq was questioning why did I visit Russia in the context of the war in Ukraine and not Gaza. I would like to inform my colleague that you might note that in November last year, I visited Palestine and I visited Israel and I met the leaders. And that was my first visit after becoming president in October. So it's not like I have ignored what is happening in the Middle East, what is happening in Lebanon, what is happening in Gaza, and what happened in Israel. So I treat all the conflicts the same way. And you might also want to note the conflicts that we are talking about in the Middle East, the war that we are talking about in Ukraine, they are not the only conflicts that IPU is looking at. We are concerned about what is happening in Yemen. We are concerned about what is happening in Syria. We are concerned about what is happening in Sudan. We are concerned about what is happening in West Africa. We are concerned about what is happening in DRC. Lithuania asked specific questions. Who mandated you to visit Russia? Why not Ukraine first? The letters were sent out, dear colleagues. The letters were sent very explicitly. They explained, and if you need copies of those letters because they are not secrets, you can always have copies. Letters were sent to our counterparts in Ukraine. Letters were sent to our counterparts in Russia. My visit was to begin with Ukraine. Ukraine responded the dates that we were ready to visit them. Mr. Zelensky and Mr. Speaker would be in New York for the NATO meeting. Would I have stopped them? No, it wouldn't be wise. In any case, I don't have such powers. Now, because the meeting of BRICS was taking place, would I stop going to Russia because Ukraine is not ready to receive me because of time? No. Why? Because IPU stands for dialogue. IPU is talking about parliamentary diplomacy. And it is in that context that I did all that I did. And I thought I would be given a little credit for all the efforts that I've done, not to be crucified for things that I have not. You're asking here who mandated me. Who mandated the former president who came from the 12+ to visit Kiev? Who mandated him? Please, I think we have to reach a point where I have explained myself several times to you 12+, to everybody else who cared to understand. If you have a feeling like I went to Russia without going to Ukraine first, I have told you several times, letters were sent out. I wouldn't turn out my visit to Russia because I'm unable to reach Ukraine. You didn't ask me similar questions when I visited Israel, did you? You didn't ask me similar questions when I visited Palestine, did you? You're not going to ask me similar questions when I visit Sudan. You're not going to ask me similar questions when I visit other places. I think, colleagues, let's have trust. You have elected a president who is supposed to deliver to her mandate. You have elected a president who is supposed to deliver to her mandate, and I think you are dealing with me unjustifiably, which is not fair to anybody. The questions that you have been raising, I have responded them to the best of my knowledge and to the best of my objectivity in all this matter. And you must know, I would not have asked to meet Mr. Putin if it wasn't for Ukraine. My commitment to doing that, and this is not the first place I'm visiting. Why is it that it's looking like I have met this person and therefore the president of IPU has all of a sudden become a monster? Please treat me with dignity the same way I am treating you with dignity. At all times advance parliamentary diplomacy. I will at all times give respect to the ideals of IPU. But I request you members to also accept, I'm not God, I'm not an angel, I'm only human, I'm doing what is possible within my powers. The president of the task force has just informed you, and I have been repeating myself in this respect. I was requested by the task force to do what I did. What did I do wrong? I was supposed to sit back and tie my hands and say there's nothing we can do as IPU. That will not be doing justice to the women and children of Ukraine who are suffering. That wouldn't be fair to the mandate that you have given me. Give me a chance to lead this institution according to the ideals that we stand for. Not to crucify me just because I come from some country. Some of you maybe feel like we are still colonized in the mind. No. No, we are not. No, we are not. So please, let's respect each other. I'm doing the best that I can, and that is exactly what I'll do. That is my commitment to you. I will keep doing that. Thank you very much. Some issues have been raised here, very specifically wanting me to say, somebody said they want the full record. I did not record the meeting, so I don't have that record. Secondly, the resolutions were they shared, they have been shared several times, and I also mentioned them. Kidnapped children that are in Russia, that is an important issue to IPU. We have been working together with the task force, and we will keep working together to make sure children are returned to Ukraine. You have talked about written requests. I have responded to every request that comes to me. The good thing is when they come to me, they go to the Secretary General as well. There is no secret about this thing. If anybody wants more information, we have a whole file of all the communications. On the other hand, I have been asked here, Denmark asked me why I visited Russia while I haven't visited Ukraine. I have already expressed what actually happened. Yeah,
the video is off. Now, I want to ask you this. Do you think these people really respect this woman? If this woman, by any chance, she was a white woman sitting in that position, and she happens to come from the United States of America, do you think they would talk to her the way they did? Just asking you. Do you think Iraq would ask her the same questions? Do you think Lithuania would ask her the same questions? Or any country that asked her those questions? Like I told you before, you should keep things in check. Don't let it get into your head. That is the problem. That is where the problem starts. You let the praises, the attention get into your head. You forget it's the position people are vying for. A lot of people, I don't think they voted this woman in. You understand? Right now, she's visited Russia. She's seen as somebody who visited a monster. A monster. No. According to the constitution of the IPU, I believe, Russia is a country, Ukraine is a country. You understand? And because she said that she didn't have the power to stop the conversation or to stop the meeting that Ukraine was having with another country, she couldn't as well stop talking to Russia. Come on, what's wrong with speaking to Russia? It reminds me of a certain interview that was done by Carl Tuckson, if you know Carl Tuckson, something like that. This American journalist made a very powerful interview with Vladimir Putin, and when he got back to America, he got a lot of backlash just because he spoke to Vladimir Putin. But he was just a journalist. A journalist can interview anyone. There is no law that prevents a journalist from speaking to anyone. In fact, journalists are given a lot of immunity. Journalists can even interview the worst person on earth, and they're okay with it. But now it comes to Russia. People are having problem with it. People are despising her because she's coming from Tanzania. She said it. She said that, quote, "You think because I come from a country where people are mentally colonized is why I deserve such kind of question?" Imagine. She also knows that people think of her country And people think of her as a person who is mentally colonized. She's mentally colonized because she was colonized by white people. And now a black person who was colonized is leading the colonizers or the descendants of the colonizers. It doesn't sit right with many people. It won't. It really won't. Naturally, it won't. Now, understanding that no matter which position you have as a black person, no matter which position you have as a black person, the ghosts, the shadows, and all the ill deeds of racism will always follow us. Black people, no matter where we are, we will always be followed. Doesn't matter how rich you are, the power you have, you will always be condemned. Remember, Paul Kagame once said, the Holocaust is what matters the most to the UN, but the Rwandan genocide doesn't matter. It's not even not well known to the world. The thing which is well known is what happened in the Holocaust. But these people are humans. The genocide in 1994 between the Hutu and the Tutsi is a real thing. You understand? The Holocaust is also a real thing. These issues should be given equal weight because it's an issue affecting humans. It's an issue affecting the globe, the world, and all that. Rwanda is a member of the UN. Israel is a country that was created by a UN decision. You understand? And this is something people should know. Just because you are black, don't think because you have a position as well, people respect you that much. No. And I also love the fact that she came and she talked, she spoke her mind, and she said what the silent part loud. Just because you think I'm coming from a country that is colonized, you think is a keyword here. You think it was colonized, so you do whatever you want with me. You ask me weird questions. Imagine a president begging for trust in such a way. I wonder if it were a white person, what would have happened? It shows how much as black people, it shows a lot. That clip really shows a lot. Yeah. And it's high time Africans discover this. It's high time we speak for ourselves. It's high time we be not defensive, but we be protective of ourselves. Protect yourself mentally. Protect yourself vocally. Have a firewall within yourself to protect yourself from attacks that might come from people with whom you are entrusted to lead. Yes. I think clearly I could see not so many people are happy with her being in that position because of the obvious reasons. I don't need to speak that in this video. A wise man does not need much. A wise man only needs 3 words. And I've told you more than 3, and I believe you are wise. Yes. This is EFK Original Documentaries. If you love my videos, kindly subscribe to the channel. I will so much appreciate. Yeah, I will really appreciate for your support. So see you in the next one. Remember to stay black, love black, just love blackness. Blackness is beautiful. Yeah. See you in the next one.